Tonight's episode of Out of the Ring is brought to you by Big Cat Sandwiches, because they're 7 feet tall and you can't eat that.
Or can you?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Out of the Ring. I'm Toonstar.
And I'm Cobalt.
And tonight we're talking about Monday Night Raw on August? August. We're on August, right? 8/8/16. But we're in August, right?
Yes.
The month of August. Okay. So August 8th, 2016, for those of you who don't speak numbers.
Yes.
Even though there's still numbers there. Beautiful Monday night here in the pits of hell.
Mm.
We had to move location. We had to move locations from Lesser Miami to the pits of hell.
Yep. Because
we are being sued for using Lesser Miami in a negative light. And by the way, a big shout out to our friends G Money and A Train.
Yep.
Over at Corpline. Go check them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But tonight we have a host of interesting matches and events on Monday night. Before we continue, I would like to point out that our WWE Network ding counter is up to 5, as I did mention the WWE Network.
Uh-huh.
And we'll also add a special ding for the mention of what we're predicting to be the horribly produced animated crossover of Scooby-Doo
WrestleMania 2.
WWE Curse of the Phantom Rider. You know, I'm surprised that crossover involved WWE stars and not Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Look it up, kids. And we looked at the cast listing, and according to what we've seen, several of our favorite WWE superstars are playing themselves, and we just have to hang our heads and ask why.
I can repeat. John Cena punching a boulder.
Yeah, that was in the last one. And a special treat for you, we will do coming up on our channel of Hippogriff versus Pegasus.
Mm-hmm.
We will be doing a commentary. Well, I don't know. Do you think we could do a blind commentary?
Yeah.
For that one? Of the first Scooby-Doo crossover. And see how that goes. The first Scooby-Doo WWE crossover.
Mm-hmm.
And see how that goes. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty and why you're all here.
Actually, Toonstar, we must remind you that Hippogriff vs. Pegasi has a Twitter.
Oh, yeah. You can follow, we are we are under contract. I can never say that word. Stop shoving that script in my face, Eric, or I'm going to throw you off the show and you'll no longer be our unpaid paid intern.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so we are under contract to mention our Twitter, which is HVP, big H, little V, big P, show at Twitter. You know, the little @ symbol, big H, little V, big P, show. And the S in show is also capitalized. You know, follow us on Twitter. Let us know what you like, what you don't. We'll ignore those who say that our show sucks.
We know who you are, and you know who you are.
Yes, we know who you are. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty now that we've covered all obligations to our account. Oh no, we haven't. But fortunately, we can cover our next contract obligation coming up as Raw. Raw kicked off, of course, with a recap of what happened on last week's Raw, which you can watch our commentary on last week's Raw.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, to see what happened then. And then what happened on last week's SmackDown, which you can catch our commentary on that one.
It's also wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And basically they talked, one of the big talk points was, of course, the firing of volleys between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar.
Uh-huh.
And we almost got excited because we found a article online talking about how Brock Lesnar bought a small town in Massachusetts or Minnesota? In Minnesota,
where he actually had residents in it.
Yeah, that had about 1,800 residents in it for $2.7 million and had renamed it Suplex City. We came to find out later that this was an elaborate April Fool's prank.
On the site we found.
Yeah, on the site we found. So don't get too excited about that little piece of real world intrusion by the WWE.
But we wish it was true.
Oh, yeah, that would actually be amazing if, like, Brock Lesnar actually had done that. Brock Lesnar, you should do that. With all the millions and millions you make from participating in the WWE and MMA fighting, you should definitely do that. But now to the nitty gritty. So after the recap, we got our first event, in which, of course, Enzo Amore and Big Cass came out and started talking about last week's events, in which Enzo was hitting on Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha was enjoying it thoroughly.
Yes.
And then of course, that's Sasha Banks, by the way, the boss, and your current WWE Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, now I can't remember her name.
The person?
Yeah,
Charlotte.
Charlotte. There we go. Thank God I have you. Shut up, Eric. You're not getting any credit for reminding me. Especially with shoving that script in my face.
Sorry, Mr. Dudstar.
Will you stop speaking for Eric? It's bad enough that I don't let him talk. I'm gonna start not letting you talk if you don't stay on point and stop talking for others.
Okay.
Anyway, so that whole brouhaha happened, and of course Jeri-KO had to come out in last week and get his 2 cents in, and all that brouhaha started. And then as Enzo and Cass were working their audience, who should come out and escalate more brouhaha? It is an actual term, look it up. But Chris Jeri-KO, and who was with him but Kevin Owens. Apparently, Jeri-KO was starting to talk about... Oh, wait, did you have something to say?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Apparently, Jeri-KO started talking about how he took advice from his made-up buddy who had his back.
Yes.
And talked about how he needed someone to have his back who was actually real. And he picked Kevin Owens. Now, for those of you who don't know, Jeri-KO and Kevin Owens hate each other.
Uh-huh.
But apparently their animosity for Enzo and Cass is a lot bigger. Much like Jericho's ego.
Oh, Jericho's ego.
And the price tag of his scars. Anyway, so Jeri-KO and of course Kevin started talking stuff and to Big Cass, and as soon as Cass started getting his 2 cents in, they turned on Enzo, and they got this big old, and of course this turned into a match between Enzo and Jeri-KO.
Mm-hmm.
And both competed to their rightful standing points. But of course, the biggest part of this match came towards the end, when of course Owens started to interfere, which got which allowed Jeri-KO to get Enzo into the walls of Jeri-KO. And then Enzo came in with a big boot to Jeri-KO, which the ref did see. And it caused, of course, Enzo to lose the match via disqualification. And, of course, Jeri-KO and Owens began to gloat about how they won, even though they didn't win by true submission or pinfall. Mm-hmm. You know, they won by one buddy helping out another buddy. Mm-hmm. Even though he wasn't supposed to.
Yes.
But hey, you know, it's Enzo and Big Cass. They can do whatever they want. You know, certified G, bona fide thug, and 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. So in the middle of their gloating, Big Cass and Enzo decided, in the middle of Jeri-KO and Owens gloating, Big Cass and Enzo decided to interrupt that with a personal challenge, a tag team match for SummerSlam. As the matches for SummerSlam start getting finalized and everything, Jeri-KO and Owens accepted. So, another match on the roster. I'm pretty sure we'll be able, I'm pretty sure. Eric, do we have a title card for that? We don't have a title card for that? Why aren't you doing your job, Eric? You disappoint me again. Anyway, so following that, really? Or really, they did that again?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, fuck me running. Yeah, so Braun Strowman showed up again, and once again they stuck him against a local jobber. You know, what are they waiting for on this one? Seriously.
I have no clue.
Like, what are they building up? Like, personally, I can't, like, if anybody knows, please tell us, because, seriously, I can't make heads or tail of this. You know, kayfabe aside, kayfabe aside, you know.
All I know is this is just getting ridiculous.
It is getting ridiculous, you know. I mean, just pin him against these tiny guys, you know, it doesn't prove anything. We get it. He's big. He's strong. He's mean. He can trample over almost anybody he wants. Put him in a proper match already. Mm-hmm. You know, seriously, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only fan out there who wants to see this guy in an awesome struggle against like freaking Rusev or Lesnar, you know, or Big Cass, you know,
or the Big Show,
or the Big Show, you know, just get these big guys, you know. I know it's kind of cliche wanting one big guy to beat up on another big guy because it'd be an even match, or pin him against, you know, someone else, you know, Sin Cara, you know, or like someone from the New Day, you know, or freaking someone from the club, just anybody, you know. And I get like these A-listers, or I get these jobbers get like $1,000. I think it was established at the time. I don't know if they really get that money because, you know, storyline, but
yeah,
whatever, you know. But still, it's getting sad, really. Mm-hmm. Super, you know, and the fact that that you know they have Strowman doing this when he can be so much more, you know. It's just nonsense.
Yeah. So
moving right along to that, we have Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil in a rematch from last week's Raw, in which Titus won that one by apparently cheating.
Yep.
Grabbing Young's trunks and holding him down that way. So not a very effective pin.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, those leverage pins don't really look all that effective in holding someone.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, this is sports entertainment we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, scripts, storylines. You know, you got to have. You know, you got to, but it just doesn't look very convincing to me.
Yeah.
I do believe this is actually the first time that we mentioned kayfabe in our episode. You know, third episode. You know, we went 3 episodes without actually mentioning it.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, so Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil, and once again, you know, it was Darren Young's, you know, athletic, speedy style versus Titus O'Neil's, super overall power with Bob Backlund in Young's corner, making Darren Young great again. The outcome for that match, Darren Young.
Yeah.
By pulling the same thing Titus did on him last week, grabbing his trunks. And they made a big old hoopla over this as following that match backstage, Bob Backlund made a crazy tirade about cheating like that. Mm-hmm. And then Young pulled the same thing, but Backlund wasn't looking.
Yeah.
So moving right along from that, Seth Rollins begins his infamous smear campaigns against his opponents. His opponent this time, Finn Balor. Mm-hmm. Talk about how Finn Balor didn't really, achieve his fame under the name Finn Balor, and what Finn Balor, and mocking what Finn Balor actually means and everything. Mm-hmm. And talk about who Finn Balor really was.
Yeah.
It's great that Seth is able to maintain this heel persona of his, and but I always find this pre-build-up mudslinging to be a little passe.
Yeah.
Because you get these guys who just talk nothing but smack, but when it comes down to it, they ain't really willing to take anybody on.
Yeah.
And then, when they actually do take someone on, it's by force. And then some nonsense happens that prevents them from losing or winning or, whatever, and then they complain some more. Mm-hmm. They got too many people doing it, and I guess it makes for good story, I guess, but it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, and of course later on in the night, Balor retorted,
explaining
in a pre-recorded video, of course.
Yeah.
Following that, we have a wonderful match between Cisaro and Shamus. I'll actually come out and say it that this was the match of the night. Mm-hmm. Even if you didn't watch any other match, even if you did, you guys can say whatever you want. I think that this match, Cesaro versus Sheamus, was the match to watch. Uh-huh. And is this the next match, or is this match we're talking about? Huh? This is the match we're talking about? Okay, so Cesaro, the Sicilian Superman, takes on Sheamus. What's his nickname? The Celtic Warrior?
Yes.
Yeah, the Celtic Warrior. Beautiful match. Both of these competitors, super athletic, super strong. This is what wrestling is all about. This is what sports entertainment is. This is what I believe every single match should be in the WWE. Mm-hmm. Showcasing the best points of every competitor. Pushing each of them to their limits. This is what I think sports entertainment should be. And oh man, we saw amazing moves out in that match, but the one I want to talk about most is the drop kick to the top ropes. Not from it, not Cesaro, Cesaro was the one who delivered this dropkick, and it wasn't to Sheamus from the top ropes. Cesaro didn't jump on the ropes and then jump through the air and dropkick Sheamus. No, Sheamus got on the top ropes, was preparing to jump, and Cesaro dropkicked him and sent him tumbling off the top rope to the floor. Not the ring, not him dangling from the ropes, to the floor. And I get that they have mats there, they need to protect them because that's nothing but concrete under there. Yeah. And because, they hold basketball games in those stadiums, they hold concerts, So the venues, the setup is always changing. And so that is solid concrete underneath those mats. And not only to plan That move right there, that series of actions that both athletes have to take, but also to execute it so that no one actually gets injured.
Mm-hmm.
That and to make it look convincing too. To make that contact, to hit that floor, and and be okay afterwards. That's where everybody said everybody, all the naysayers say wrestling's fakes, it's so staged, but they have to stage it when shit like this comes up, or else people get seriously hurt.
Yes.
They get broken bones and everything. They have to go into surgery and be away for like months at a time. Like Rollins, Triple H, friggin' Mick Foley. These are all wrestlers who legitimately got hurt doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to plan, and they have to execute it perfectly, or else they will get hurt. And when you see them do stuff like this, that drop kick to someone on the top ropes, knocking them to the ground, and them still being good for like the next show or the next event coming up that night. That is really a testament to like everything that the WWE stands for, and and then to the athletes themselves, willing to take those risks for the entertainment of people. You get some of those athletes who are like, no, I don't want to do that. That's too dangerous. And then you get those athletes who are like, yeah, bring it on. Yeah. Let's do it. Take it up more. Yeah. And that's what the Attitude Era was all about.
Yeah.
Just them kicking it up a notch, just trying to outpace WCW in the ratings, and them doing this like crazy stuff that would otherwise be like super dangerous. And the Ruthless Aggression Era sort of toned that down, and then you had the Universe Era as well, toning it down more, kind of even it out, and then you have this new era now, and you start, and they do stuff like that sort of like calls back to the Attitude Era when they're willing to do stuff like that. Take those high risk moves, and people just cheer and look in shock. I was in shock when that happened.
Yeah.
That was an amazing thing.
Specifically what happened to Big E.
Yeah, that freaking nut shot, which we'll talk about later, of course. But and it was probably that move right there that if that was a real match, it was that move right there that allowed Cesaro to win afterwards.
Yeah.
But these two, Sheamus and Cesaro like gave their all. And Cesaro came out the winner for the second time in a row.
Yep.
And last week's match between them was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Like these are the athletes that the bigwigs in the WWE need to be on the lookout for.
Yeah. And seriously, check out last week's coverage.
Yeah, just amazing. These matches are just amazing. And Cesaro won that match. For the second time in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see him later, and you see him later on in the evening as well.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that later. So before my adrenaline over that match wears off anymore, let's move down to the next match: the Dudley Boys versus Neville, and at the time his mystery opponent, and his mystery tag team partner. And before we talk about who that was, for those who didn't see it, we'll talk about how this match came about. During the Raw pre-show, which can be seen on the network.
Yeah.
You know what network we're going to talk about. I'm not going to ding ourselves just to get that, get that, free advertising for them. It's not like we don't do enough free advertising for them by telling you guys about these matches and stuff.
Yeah.
And trying to get you hyped up to pull in more viewers for the WWE.
Yeah.
But the next, so Neville was in an interview at the WWE pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
At the Raw pre-show, and the Dudley Boys came in and started talking smack to him. Now, we hadn't seen much of the Dudley Boys since the draft.
Yes.
And And so they came on, and they're talking all kinds of smack about Neville. This guy, the man gravity forgot.
Yeah.
I've seen his matches, some of his matches, and the highlights from them. And yeah, this guy is like a super sore. Callbacks to like Ricky Steamboat, and yeah, and
He can jump from outside the ring into the ring without even touching.
Yeah. Friggin', he can jump like Sin Cara and, all those. He can sell like all those luchadors, could. Can. And he's like way bigger than they are.
Yeah.
This guy is super athletic and another guy to be on the lookout for. But, Dudley Boys came in, started talking smack, and they challenged him to a match on Raw. And challenged him to find a partner who would team up with him.
Mm-hmm.
We finally found out who that partner was. Sin Cara. Yep. Another super athlete. Lucha. Freaking. Of course, Rey Mysterio's protege.
Yeah.
And subsequent replacement after Rey Mysterio left the WWE.
Yes.
Sin Cara, Luchador Gold, super athletic, super fast. Two guys who can sail through the air versus the Dudley Boys, who generally use their power to, intimidate their opponents and push their way around in the WWE.
Yeah.
They took on these guys, and we saw both sides, give their all, do what they do, and in the end, freaking really, Eric, man, fucking Eric, man. I'm not calling him that. I don't care what my contract says. I'm not calling him that.
Neither am I.
Yeah. Neville and Sin Cara won the match. Proving, of course, to the Dudley Boys that they are everything they say they are. And I love Sin Cara's outfit. That whole black look. Oh. That was amazing. So, moving right along, we had...
Flashbacks.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was an event in between. Was the wedding event in between this, or was it after? Okay, so in between, so the Dudley Boys, because Eric forgot certain things. You're probably asking what kind of name is Eric for magical equines, magical equines and blue bird horses. Eric is special, and we'll leave it at that. And yes, here in Candy Coated Horseland, we do get the WWE, and we love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to our almighty princess. Thank you to our almighty princess of the night for hooking us up with wrestling from the human world.
Yep.
But yeah. So following the match between the Dudley Boys and Neville and Sin Cara, we got a in-ring wedding ring enactment between Lana and Rusev.
Yes.
And of course they had to make it a big old. I get weddings are about the people who are getting married, but they had to turn it into a big old thing, like the American people were jealous of them, and they had to turn it into that nonsense because honestly the WWE fans are super unbridled and say what they want because they can. Yeah. What are they gonna do? Are the wrestlers gonna come out of the ring and start beating up on the audience? No. That's why we're allowed to say what we can.
And that's what plants are for.
Yeah, that's what plants are for. Yeah. They get somebody. For those of you who don't know what plant is, the WWE hires someone, on staff or one of their WWE, one of the superstars who, are just trying to make it but aren't really famous yet. They put them in the audience to either get beat up or give a beating.
Yeah.
whatever's clever.
Yeah.
But in this case, there were no plans. But during these special wedding nuptials came a very special guest star. Not the bad guy, not the good guy, just the guy, Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Since last week, Roman Reigns has had his eyes set on the United States Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And he challenged Rusev last week. Rusev declined, and he came out all nice and all happy too. He was giving them, well, not mad props. This is Roman Reigns we're talking about.
Yeah.
Even when he's doing something nice, he always wants something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta work what you're doing. And he works what he does. He does what he works, and he works what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So Reigns wanted to come out, and he respectfully, after giving his congratulations to the happy couple, and before any of you say anything, any of you guys who haven't been watching or anything, yes, Rusev and Lana are a legit couple. They are legitimately married. This is not storyline or anything. All that nonsense that happened between Rusev and Lana previously, before our show even existed, that stuff was storylined. But this wedding, their love, that's real.
Yep.
And so anybody who's kind of holding a torch for Lana there, sorry to break your hearts, but yeah. When she says that Rusev is the only man that can have her, Rusev is the only man that can have her.
Yeah.
But yeah, Reigns gave his special congratulations and respectfully challenged Rusev for the USA title at SummerSlam. Rusev, of course, angrily declined.
Yeah.
So after that, Reigns decided to get a little mean.
Yeah.
Decided to make a somewhat snarky toast at the expense of the bride and groom, which started a little beat down between them.
Yes.
Which escalated until Lana went into her wedding cake.
Yes.
Yeah. And she went completely berserk about that.
Oh.
Not old school berserk, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not like old school, where the diva would get like pissed off and attack the wrestler. No, she just went all super whiny on it, screaming, "I hate you! I hate you!" Of course, for those of you who don't know, Lana isn't really what her name is, and no, she's not really Russian either,
or a diva.
Yeah, she's not a wrestler either. Yeah, she's an actress.
Yeah.
She's an actress and a model who happens to love a WWE superstar, and whose love is apparently on stage for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And of course, but I will admit that I'd rather have my love presented to the world through the WWE than TMZ or Fox.
Especially Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, we get those channels here in Magical Horseville too. Yeah. So Rusev and Lana were of course pissed about what took place. Reigns comically apologizing, but yeah, I don't think he was really sorry about that.
Yeah.
That was actually quite hilarious. Yeah. And so Rusev confronted Mick Foley, general manager of Raw, and Foley decided that Rusev would get his revenge at SummerSlam for the USA title.
Yep.
So Reigns got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Moving right along, we have Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooke. And, of course, earlier in the night, so this is how this match came around. Earlier in the night, of course, uh, uh, Stephanie was not at Raw tonight. You know, she was off doing her own thing.
Yep.
And so Foley was in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And Foley was talking to Stephanie about that whole hoopla between Orton and Lesnar.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how well the tablet was working out for him and how he ditched the clipboard completely, even though he was still using it. I'm pretty sure Stephanie was watching Raw and saw that he was completely lying to her.
Yeah.
You know. But whatever, storyline, kayfabe, whatever. I doubt he was even really talking to Stephanie at the time. He was just holding his phone up to his ear and talking whatever was scripted. Ooh, scripted, edgy. We're breaking walls here.
Yay.
Yeah. We know wrestling is fake and staged, but as I pointed out earlier, so it has to be, or else you have incidents of people ending up in the emergency room. Not good.
Or worse.
Yeah, and no bueno. That really kills your sign up there.
Literally.
Yeah. So Banks was talking about. So Banks approached Mick Foley and was talking about how Brooke is always there at Charlotte's side.
Yeah.
And to prove that she's the true WWE Women's Champion and that she could take on anybody, she asked Mick Foley if he could make the match at SummerSlam between Banks and Charlotte a handicap match where Charlotte and Brooke would take on Banks for the Women's Champion. That's guts right there. Yeah. That is gutsy, and I am so in love with her right now. So Foley put this ultimatum to her, that she will be put in a match between herself and Dana Brooke, and if Banks won, Brooke would be banned from the arena for SummerSlam. And if Brooke won, Banks would get her handicap match. So either way, Brooke won.
Yeah.
It was a win-win for Brooke. It may not be a win. It may have not been a win at SummerSlam,
or for Charlotte,
or for Charlotte. Well, I don't know. Charlotte with Brooke. I'm pretty sure she would have enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But of course, now we get to the match between Banks and Brooke, and of course Charlotte is right there by Brooke's side.
Yeah.
And even with Charlotte's coaching, with all the attempted dirty moves, with everything geared and ready to take Brooke down, or take Banks down, Sasha Banks won the match, proving that she is the boss. And Dana Brooke is banned from the SummerSlam arena. We'll see how much that holds water.
Yeah.
After the phenomenal fail of security at SmackDown.
Yeah.
Trying to keep Lesnar out of the arena and then out of the audience stand and then out of the ring. Let's see how...
And out of the parking lot.
Yeah. Let's see how well they can keep Brooke out of SummerSlam. Of course, we still got 2 weeks before that. And, of course, that means we still have one more Raw before that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Following that is the New Day versus the Club. Now, before this match got started, the Club put out a comedic skit video talking about ring postitis, which sufferers of ring postitis suffer blows to the groin area. For those of you who don't know, after the match between New Day and Club last Monday, the Club took Big E and racked him in his Big E against the post in the ring, which unfortunately kept Big E out of competition this week. I don't know how much of that is kayfabe, or if he really suffered injury. But if he really suffered injury, we're pulling for you, Big E. If you just needed a break and this was the way to do it, sure, why not? You don't disappoint the fans, and you get your time off. Everybody wins. But they devised this hilarious skit where they had 2 eggs in a formaldehyde-filled jar. Talk about how they extracted Big E's nuts to save him and everything. It was kind of hilarious, somewhat pretentious, and a lot of what the Club would do.
It's the Club. What do you do?
Yeah, but it's just something that they do. So, and then the New Day, of course, earlier in the night, met up with Mick Foley and Sean Puffy Combs. P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. Once part of a rap group with Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
God rest his soul, who's rapping in heaven right now. I'm not much into hip hop, but he does what he can. He's world famous. He's doing something right. People love him. He's not all that bad. His music's not all that bad, I guess. People are gonna hate me for this, but I like his collab with Jimmy Page and his alteration to Kashmir for the Godzilla soundtrack. Come with me. People are gonna hate me for that because Kashmir is a phenomenal song. Is a phenomenal Led Zeppelin song, and I know fans of rock are going to hate me for liking that song, but I like that song. In fact, that was actually once a entrance music for one of my custom superstars on some of the WWE video games. So big shout out to Puff Daddy there, and but the New Day and Puff Daddy is the executive music producer for music supervisor. Sorry, he's executive music supervisor for WWE 2K17, which is on its way out for PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. If you want my advice, pick up the version for PS4 and Xbox One because those versions always have more features. I'm glad 2K is still a game company that thinks about the previous generation. When everybody else has moved on to the next big thing, keeps some of the lifeblood flowing. But and then they move on to the next, and then they move on to the next generation when they fully move on to the next generation when all the kinks in the system have already been worked out, and they can produce high quality games on the high quality sports games and Borderlands games on those. Because really, that's all 2K produces. Is sports games and the occasional, or they publish. They produce sports games, but occasionally they will publish. They will publish the occasional amazing game.
Like Borderlands
or Bioshock.
Didn't they also publish Mad World?
That was Sega.
That was Sega?
That was Sega. Sega! But no, yeah, and Sean Combs, of course, Puff Daddy, gave his shout out and sympathies to Big E. Started eating a box of Bootios. They make sure that you ain't booty. Still trying to wrap my head around what that means.
So am I.
Yeah. New Day, not one of my favorite, wrestling staples, only because I find them extremely ridiculous and a little juvenile. had a friend once told me that because we are candy colored equines. Well, I am. You're only half a candy colored equine. Yeah. Uh, told me that I would love the New Day because they were unicorn based, and I had to remind him that I was a Pegasi. So not that I have anything against unicorns. Some of my closest friends are unicorns, but that doesn't mean I'm going to root for any human who bases himself off a unicorn. It's not even proper unicorns. Because in the human world, unicorns are these mythical creatures who are, you know, awesome and contain immortal lifeblood. That if you drink, you become immortal yourself. But you become cursed too. And people are always after them, and they get turned into women or get captured by Satan, get captured by incarnations of the devil, or shit like that. Yeah, 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 you know, you know, but in actuality, unicorns, well, they do have magic. There's nothing really immortal about them. You know, and
the unicorns you have to watch out for.
Yeah, which we're still up in arms on whether they just have extended lives or if they're really immortal. Our princesses have been around for a millennium or so, and our newer princesses are still young.
From what we understand, they're just really, really old.
Yeah, we can't really say if they're immortal or nothing. Don't strike us down, oh great princess of the night, we love you. But yeah, but New Day, versus the club, it's Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston versus, of course, the club. Gallows and Anderson.
Yep.
Facing off in a tag team match, and this time the club wins. I think last time New Day won.
We're gonna keep that up in the air and just watch the previous episodes.
Yeah, because we don't want to go back through everything. Don't you dare, Eric. We're on a roll here. We don't want to interrupt anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we're almost done here, so no, Eric. Go back into your corner and do your paperwork. Anyway, so the club wins, and they try to take and they try to give it wasn't a tag team match. It was a singles match.
It was
yeah, it was Xavier Woods, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Xavier Woods versus who was it? Gallows or Anderson?
I think it was Gallows.
Yeah, they look alike. They're
bald.
Yeah, they honestly like one shorter than the other. And honestly, when I first saw them, I thought somebody cloned Goldberg.
Yeah.
I honestly thought somebody cloned Goldberg and created these two. God knows Goldberg has left his DNA in the ring plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
Not even remotely what I meant. But yeah, so the club, they take on each other, and the club won. Anderson, Gallows, whoever the fuck was in the ring at the time.
Yeah.
When one wrestles, the other one wrestles. That's just how it is. I'm gonna start counting them as a single individual just to keep confusion down.
Yeah.
But the club wins, and then they try to take out Xavier Woods. Try to give him a case of ring postitis. Yeah, and yes, ring postitis is a very real, very dangerous condition.
Yes.
That male performance athletes suffer from.
Yep.
And if you are trying to get pregnant, trying to have sex of any kind, make sure that your partner does not contract ring postitis.
Yep.
Because then you'll have to go under surgery, and it's not pretty. From what I hear, the surgery for ring postitis is nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah. But fortunately, Kofi came in with that save with the chair. Chair. Match was already over, so there was nothing illegitimate about it.
Yeah.
Match wise. But yeah, so they're gearing up for their Summerslam match, their tag team match, and then rounding out our night, Mick Foley asked once again. You can't see it, but I'm doing hoof quotes, what the humans call finger quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Really hard to do finger quotes without, with these, with those. But yeah, you can do it because you got those talents.
Yeah.
Lucky you, you got digits.
3, but they're digits.
But unlike you, I don't need the opposable thumb to hold things. My wings are prehensile.
Yeah.
When's the last time you held anything with your wings?
Yeah, no.
Personal phrasing.
Yeah.
But no. So general manager of Raw, Mick Foley, asked general manager of SmackDown Live.
Daniel Bryan.
Thank you. That's why I have you here to help you remind me.
Yes.
Daniel Bryan to clear the air, as it were, between this whole Orton Lesnar situation.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, last week on Raw, Heyman was talking for Lesnar about how Orton will never get an RKO on Lesnar. And what did we get? An RKO out of nowhere! Calm down there. Yeah. And then the following match, it didn't come out of nowhere. Orton actually saw it coming.
Yeah.
We got an that Tuesday on SmackDown, we got an F5 to Orton.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a suplex. It was an F5. Yeah. Which apparently he has special finishers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah. So that match is heating up, and in the spirit of brotherhood and friendly competition between these two brands of World Wrestling Entertainment, Foley and Bryan decide to get in the ring and have a little discussion about where this little rivalry was going, and to apologize to each other. Well, unfortunately, this kind of got out of hand. Shots were fired, both competitive and, as Foley called them, compliment grenades.
Yeah.
I want a set of those.
Yeah.
You pull the pin, drop the pin, throw the grenade, and when it explodes, everybody just gets compliments. Yeah. It's just all ching ching. Whew. You guys are great.
Yeah.
But that's what we need to fight our enemies with. The next time a Tyrek or a Discord or what's her bitch tits what's her bitch crotch tits Miss Equalizer woman. Starlight Glimmer.
Isn't she on our side now?
Whatever. The next time someone like that decides to show up, we just love compliment grenades at them, make them feel good about themselves.
Disposable friendship.
You guys are great. You're doing great. We love your mane. Sorry, that was from the Sweetie Belle box. I'm awesome. That was from the Rainbow Dash box. But yeah, but yeah. Who should come out? But they were talking about the upcoming. They started talking about how how now that the WWE Championship is on SmackDown, how Raw had to make up a championship.
Yeah.
Just so they can have an extra one.
Yeah.
You know, and they did a clip from Talking Smack, another show that you can watch.
On the network, we're not going to specify.
On the another show you can watch on the internet, on that internet thing that WWE does. Daniel Bryan was talking about how, why don't they just make a Galaxy Championship or a Milky Way or something like that, and apparently Foley and Stephanie took exception to that, and they took his words out of context on a little clip. And Bryan actually said that he legitimately feels that they should make titles like that, And who should come out while they were talking about this but Rusev, still steaming from his little ordeal with Reigns and the subsequent match that Foley made.
Yeah.
No, he came out talking about how he is the only champion that Raw needs, and that SmackDown and General Manager Daniel Bryan is jealous of that fact.
Yeah.
When who should come out but rested from his earlier match, Cisaro. Now we go into now this pushes the Raw into overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Because this show is normally a 3-hour show, but sometimes they will go more than 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But Cesaro started talking about how Foley said that he would get his title shot.
Yeah.
If he beat Shamus, and he's beaten Shamus twice this in a row now. And Bryan commented that he feels that Cesaro is being underutilized after missing drafting him by that much.
Yep.
And everybody's saying that the reason why Raw drafted him instead of SmackDown is that SmackDown was going to draft him, but then of course Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan started looking at his shoulder and seeing if his shoulder was fully healed or not, and saying that the shoulder was in question, and that was the general consensus for Raw as well. But they drafted him they drafted him just to give him a shot, just to give him a chance to prove himself. Even though Cesaro wanted to be on SmackDown, which I think that would have upped the star power of SmackDown, especially after tonight's performance between him and Sheamus. And but Foley, finally gave Cesaro his chance against Rusev at that very moment in time. So the final match of the night was Cesaro versus Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought this was going to be a dark match.
Yeah.
Like they would end before, because they were coming up on their 3-hour time limit, and they would end before the match. They were coming up on their 3-hour broadcast limit, and you would have to catch the other one on that internet, on that WWE internet site.
Yes.
But no, they actually broadcasted it to us. They went over there through USA, allowed them to go over the 3-hour limit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess 3 hours doesn't necessarily mean 3 hours.
Yeah.
It just means ballpark 3 hours.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's one of the highest rated shows on USA. They're all ranking in money from sponsorship deals and everything. What does USA care?
Yeah.
So Cesaro and Rusev, of course, face off against each other. And once again, Cesaro shows off his phenomenal skills that make him such a star athlete. Rusev, of course, showing off his power that, of course, helps him dominate every now and then when he needs to defend the United States champion. Which, honestly, he does more so than The Miz does.
Mm-hmm.
He may be a poor champion, but he's at least a better champion than The Miz is.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he doesn't want to defend his championship against people who could probably defeat him, he does anyway.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's Cesaro. And Rusev, of course, targeting Cesaro's taped shoulder.
Yeah.
Which he's had that tape on there a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that is becoming kayfabe, you think?
I think 90% of it, but previously I've read research that some people will use it not for injury and more for just more resiliency.
They wear it just to help them protect better.
Yeah.
Kind of like a shoulder condom.
Yay, shoulder condom.
Keeps you from getting shoulder herpes whenever you're clotheslined.
Yep.
Or whenever you take another person's shoulder to that shoulder when you're in the turnbuckle.
Yep.
Sorry, folks. I was just writing down a note for later that I want to pitch to our producers. But no, Cesaro versus Rusev, and Rusev was just mercilessly hitting that shoulder, and Cesaro kept coming back for more. Amazing athlete, superstar power. Keep your eye on him. Raw, SmackDown, whoever gets him, like if he eventually jumps ship to SmackDown, or if Ross finally starts taking notice of him more. Whoever does it, keep note of him because he is superstar power.
Mm-hmm.
But who should come out? But also another superstar, Shamus. Rested from his match. Mm-hmm. Rested from that same match earlier in the night, and of course, Shamus, super heel character.
Yeah.
Of course, interferes with the match, distracts long enough. Both instances, the ref wind up getting hit.
Still has an awesome mohawk.
Yeah, Sheamus still rocks that awesome mohawk. Once again, I wish I could get my main to do that, but no. I tried it once. I regret that school picture. Yeah. But yeah, Rusev, Sheamus's interference allowed Rusev to win and retain his title.
Yep.
But I'm hoping that maybe, just slightly maybe, they may turn that USA title shot at SummerSlam into a triple threat match.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm hoping maybe. More, maybe not. But I also hope that Reigns, if it's in the cards, I hope Reigns wins and becomes the new USA champion. And then, as much as I want Balor to win, if Rollins wins this Universal champion, you'll have all three former members of the Shield teamed up, or not teamed up, but all holding titles now. Reigns as USA champion, Rollins as Universal champion, and Ambrose as WWE champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope Ambrose retains his WWE championship at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because we got an up and coming rookie looking at his, or no, not an up and coming rookie. We have Dolph Ziggler, Dolph Ziggler looking to get his shot at championship stardom.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around, and I will admit has been underutilized, even though I don't really care for him as a character, as a wrestler. I'm pretty sure half the people I really don't care for are probably really good people in real life. They go out with their buddies. If you see them on the street, they're really great and talk to people and everything. But honestly, I just really don't care for their characterization. And it's not just heels either. It's face people who kind of irk me too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the New Day. The New Day are super face characters.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I don't care for them.
Yeah.
R-Truth. Some more ridiculousness in the R-Truth column. No Pokemon Go this week.
Yeah. Just plugging of that Scooby-Doo movie.
Yes, freaking freaking they had a replica of Mystery Machine, which actually was kind of cool. You know, and Scooby Doo once again, hoof quotes, air quotes. You know, because it's just some clown in a costume, but whatever. You know, and R-Truth complaining about somehow he found his way into the Mystery Machine, and apparently he was talking about it being stinky and full of flies and everything. You know, just attributing more to Shaggy's beatnik living style, beatnik hippie living style. You know, I'm not saying anything, but you know, it's quite possible. You know, I'm not saying it is that you know Shaggy takes that whole hippie thing to its maximum potential. But you know, whatever. Crush your dream, kids. Shaggy's a pothead. There, I said it. Scooby's a pothead too. There. You know, they get stoned when no one. They get completely stoned.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, but yeah, but Golden Truth, R-Truth started getting on Goldust's case about how about how R-Truth is not in the Scooby Doo movie and not on Goldust's side in the Scooby Doo movie and in this upcoming Scooby Doo movie. You know, and Goldust had to explain to him that you know, when they made the movie, they weren't a team then. I don't know how much of that is true. Because, you know, movie production schedules and what have you, it's not like, you know, they make the movie and then the next day they release it. You know, even animated stuff, you know, you have to draw everything, you have to record voices, sound, what have you. You know, it's not like us where we just like watch a match and then plop down in our recording booth and start talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, cartoons and movies take years and years in advance to make.
Yeah.
You know, so and when you have a legacy like Scooby Doo does, you know, who can probably afford to make big budget animated movies on par with you know the Disney Channel and stuff, without you know debasing yourself and making ridiculous crossovers.
Not at all.
Yeah, you know it. You know you got you know it'll take some time. So maybe Golden Truth was a thing when production was going on. Maybe it wasn't. You know, maybe R-Truth just wasn't you know hot enough shit to be part of that. Be part of that little group there. Maybe he was. You know, I don't know what the thinking is when they are picking their superstars. I just have to say this: why Mark Calloway? Why Undertaker? Why did you voice yourself? Why did you even allow them to use your image in a movie like that? You know, stop fucking with my childhood, WWE. Stop fucking with my childhood, Hanna-Barbera, Warner Brothers, whoever fucking owns Scooby-Doo right now. Stop it. You know, but yeah, uh, but yeah. So yeah, that whole thing happened. And now finally move on to something we caught after Raw, the Stone Cold podcast. The guest on the Stone Cold podcast was, of course, WWE champion Dean Ambrose. Ambrose talking about, you know, how he came up in the WWE, what he was before he was a WWE superstar, you know what his childhood was like, you know, and you learn, you know, he's a pretty decent guy.
Yeah.
You know, or you learn that he's just a guy. You know, he is just a guy. You know, and he talks about all the storylines and everything and all that good gravy stuff. You know, and you know he talks about how the Shield broke up and everything. And despite what the WWE would have you believe, what we inferred from this podcast was that you know, despite this whole breakup thing and this apparent animosity between the three of them, they're still outside the ring, all like super cool buddies and everything. So yeah, you know, inside the ring, on stage, in character, they hate each other. They hate each other's guts. Outside the ring, they're going to Baskin Robbins for ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they really go to Baskin Robbins for ice cream. They may just like go to one of their houses, their hotel room, and just, they might just like pick up some tubs of Ben and Jerry's and watch Sex in the City together. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever they do, they may hit up the Waffle House and, like every other performance artist does. Yep. And just like crack jokes. So if you're at a Waffle House, be on the lookout for WWE stars. Yep. If you're ever at a Waffle House at like past midnight, at like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, if there's a Waffle House in your town, you may see a superstar there.
Yep.
But speaking, but yeah, if you haven't seen the Stone Cold podcast with Dean Ambrose, check it out. It's really informative, really great. They're really, it's really good. Stone Cold gets this really stern look on his face when Dean Ambrose is talking.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the look of that my dad used to get, and if you ever fuck shit up, And with that, I think it's time to sign off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once again, great. Once again, shout out to Puffy Combs, P Diddy, Puff Daddy. All the great WWE superstars who make Monday Night Raw and SmackDown such great shows to watch every week. And yeah, we'll be signing off. This has been Toonstar.
And this has been Cobalt Creek.
And you can't teach that. Good night, everybody. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Big Cast Sandwiches, which are 7 foot tall, and you can't eat that.
Or can you?
I'm gonna.